Hi, my name is Gretchen Hahn, and I'm a recruiting specialist for the Graduate College of Engineering.
Hi, I'm Joe Weber. I'm a professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering Department at Northeastern University.
And this is the Faculty 5 Seattle edition. Hi, Joe. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Gretchen.
Yeah, excited to have you here today. I'd love to hear a little bit about you and your background before you came to Northeastern.
I got my PhD in computer vision in the previous century in Berkeley, California, and worked both in industry and part-time as adjunct in academia for now 26 years.
Okay, wow.
And I recently came up to Seattle and found this opportunity here.
What exactly do you do on the Northeastern Seattle campus?
Yes, I'm a full-time teaching professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. We have a new program here, a couple of years old now, and we'll be introducing more elements of it, including robotics.
Because you're full-time teaching, you're not really doing research. Are you still involved in industry in Seattle?
Somewhat, yes. I'm consulting for like a robotics startup. I'm still in Silicon Valley. And then also try to engage as many other local startup companies as I can. So I put out invitations for guest speakers, guest lecturers, mostly because I also want to know who's doing what in the area. And when I find when I bring someone in to the guest lecture, especially in computer vision, the students want to hear that much more than they want to hear me. They want that sort of special day company that's local, who's been doing the work for computer vision. And so the more guest lectures I can bring in for that.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique sort of position to find yourself in, for sure.
So now building that same sort of network, who's doing what in this area relative to computer vision machine learning.
Cool. And what are the students in your program doing, with all of these sort of industry people coming in? What are they able to do with all of that exposure?
Well, again, the focus is, what are these companies looking for? What are the interview process going to be like? What are the skills you're going to need for that? So that's another thing I find unique here in other places that I've taught at is, we have this emphasis that, well, what are the companies, the local companies looking for? What are the skills they want? And even, I think very important, what are the interview skills you need?
Sure.
We're project-based in the advanced classes I teach. It's easy to learn. PowerPoint is a skill that even a computer engineer has to do.
You heard it here first.
Good PowerPoints and there are not good PowerPoints.
Yeah. Are there any other sort of notable projects that students get to work on at Northeastern Seattle?
Well, certainly the expo that we had this summer. So every summer we have this 8-week program where we bring the students from the different colleges and we potentially build groups that have the diverse skills. So someone who's a really good programmer, someone with project management, maybe artistic skills or design. And so the group gets to work with a local company and a faculty advisor on a project. So they can exercise all those dimensions, those skills that group has.
Okay, cool. And you were an advisor for this last Experience Expo?
Yes, was advisor for this summer. We worked with a local company, Earth Science Research, and they were looking at how does sea ice affect the melting of the polar ice cap. It was a great project. They had gotten this new data on the salinity, and they wanted to know a simple question that our machine learning skills could look at in a short time frame. How does that affect our prediction of sea ice? And as the polar cap recedes during the summertime, we now have a new route for shipping traffic over the North Pole area, as opposed to going down to Panama. If you think about it, for the past 300 years, ships that go from West Coast to East Coast had to go all the way south.
That's incredible.
And now, unfortunately, because of climate change, they can go north.
Yeah.
But you want to predict when the ice comes back.
Pretty close. Were there any elf sightings during the project and while they were going through?
Little green men occasionally.
Occasionally showing up?
Yeah, it's part of the salinity data.
That's got to be the most impressive part of the project, for sure.
Yeah, but it was a great project. Again, we had the technical skills. We had people that had to present how to build what is very common in all the research today, your poster, to present that poster within 5 minutes to groups that come by and review it. So we have that whole doing the work, presenting the work, and then a day of judges coming through and judging each of the projects.
What did the judges have to say about the project that you were supervising?
Well, I think we did something well. We won the competition for the best project.
Congratulations! The little green men. I'm sure we're very thrilled to find out. Well, thank you so much, Joe. It was so great getting to talk to you.
Thanks, Gretchen. Thanks for talking to me when you came out to visit us here in Seattle.
We love it out here.